My mind is so spectacular. Open up your aperture. You don't like the light that I be shining, bitch, you Dracula. Southern draw vernacular. Flip you like a spatula. Knew that I was built to put this world up on my scapula. I've been on the road so long, my tires bald. I don't wanna text and no, I don't wanna call. Came in this shit running, bitch, I don't know how to crawl. We ain't never folding, I'm holding the highest car. Look, okay, grew up running post routes. Now I'm on the cash route. Better call the plumber, that boy spitting like a bass spout. All these bad women in this club, fuck is you mad about? Word to all my estheticians, boy, I'm about to lash out. Straight from St. John's to the east side. Jigging since the knee high. Watch the way I put on for my state, nigga, yeehaw. Respecting no everything. Crazy how I made it to the league from the bleach eyes. Boy, my shit hair wrong. Black, rich, and bare arms. Smoking on that yogi, this shit stronger than some bare arms. Goku, I'm in rare form. You cannot prepare for him. When I swing, it's like a carnivore. This shit ain't fair for him. Brought intellect back to this rap shit. You niggas need chapstick. Shit been dry for way too long, and I'm the matchstick. You niggas Nickelodeon me. I'm more like Cap Nick. Cap a nigga, throw him in front of me. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said it, I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. About to blow like we just lit the fuse. We double dutch into this dough, I get this shit in twos. Push the button, get it started, put that shit in cruise. A little dust up on his heart, I barely get to use. A fool flatters himself, a wise man flatters the fool. Man, I just came to get it started like mechanics with tools. Cause in my hood, if you don't pack a tool, you planning to lose. These young boys deserve Oscars, they be acting a fool. A couple loose screws, but they hammer accurate. Ooh, I know some niggas stuck on drugs and manufacture it too. School of hard knocks, we all got our bachelor's. Food, no cap and gowns, but we all had the master. Party favors on the table, you can pick and choose. I would be lying if I said it, I don't get confused. I'm just a player in the game and I don't pick the rules. Why trouble always seem to find the ones with shit to lose. I'm lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh rack, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Say she don't smoke, but she always smoke with me, yeah. Backwards in the air, back up in the ovaries, yeah. All my ops, they stay running like they over easy. Even my masseuses can't just get too close to me, yeah. Shout out to Next, soon as the ink dry, we count out the checks, yeah. I never flex, I bought up a business, you bought up a section. I'm at the top of my class, yeah. Y'all never learned from your lessons. Skywalker gave me the force, yeah. Turn this into an obsession, yeah. I couldn't wait on the team, cooking shit up with just me and play, yeah. Things never are what they seem, but we know the facts, yeah. Charging that shit to the game, but now I pull up with a battery pack, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and we can just leave it at that. I'm dumb lit, it's about to be a late night. Fresh rack, shawty, show me what it tastes like. Niggas know me in my city like I'm Wayne Wright. Got them looking up to me and we the same height. Ooh, I got it bad, deep in my bag. Foot on the gas, they cannot last. Swimming with the sharks, bitch, that's a great white. Never stopping, we don't even need no brake lights. Big bro, why they call you big bro? Every time we hit the bank, we deposit. Connected with the streets like we out in Skid Row.
Ooh, what's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, BJ Matthews, aka B Joseph. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube viewers, hit that like button. Y'all come in here, hit the share, subscribe as well. Hit that Cash App, $, Slick Rick, 1990 Sun. This is our Cash App right there, y'all. If y'all want to donate to the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast, please do not hesitate to do so. And make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Also, if you guys do not have a Cash App, you guys can donate to the super stickers or super comments, which is simple as well. There's a button right there at the bottom of the video screen that says thanks right below the video. that y'all can donate that way as well if y'all enjoy this content. So let's get into it, y'all. We got the NBA Finals who is about to be underway. Indiana Pacers and the OKC Thunder. I want to give a shout out to, first of all, Kirk. I want to give a shout out to him for riding with OKC and basically proving me wrong. OKC has been at the team that has given me basically, like I said, now, I can really say that they're a championship caliber team. I needed to see it and definitely did see it against that series against Minnesota. I felt like Minnesota was a team that could have gave them more resistance, but in terms of their offense, in terms of their coaching, but also more so their two best players not showing up consistently, they pretty much put the clamps on Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle the last two games of the series. So I got to give a shout out to Oklahoma City. I think it's going to be a very exciting series between Indiana and OKC. Tyrese Halliburton over there with the Pacers, they have a good chance of winning the finals with that team, that squad that looks very locked in. Pascal Siakam getting the Eastern Conference MVP. So it's going to be an exciting finals. I'll definitely be in attendance to watch. But before we get started, make sure you guys go into the comment section. Let me know that y'all in here. Shout out to Gabe Moore. How you doing? Hey, BJ, how you doing? David Rosca, the Ball brothers to the Clippers. Appreciate you coming in. My man Cottage, he said, hey, BJ in the chat room, what's good? What's good, Cottage? How you doing? Alan NG, what are your ratings predictions for the finals? Undecided right now. Undecided, but I appreciate the $99 donation. My man Alan always comes in with that donation, man, every time. So big shout out to him. Salute to my boy D-Rob. What's good, bro? How you doing? My boy D-Rob in the building. Appreciate you coming in. All right, so that's enough of that. We got to get these people in here. Make sure you guys hit the like button to get the people in. Make sure you guys also vote in the polls. Y'all see the poll question right there. Please vote in the polls to say engage and interactive for the show. This is going to be a good one for the off season. As y'all know, the Clippers, me covering them this season, a lot of stuff was unveiled that I saw. Mostly, not just with y'all, like reporting to you guys, but getting the information behind the scenes and being in the press room and being on the court and being with the players and all that stuff, man, it's giving you a lot of insight that you just give glory to God that you get a chance to be here in those rooms. So a lot of these predictions and all these things that I talk about stem from that. They stem from what I see behind the scenes and what I've seen also, like you guys, on the screen, watching the games. So that's what brings me to this subject right here. The Clippers need to go after Lonzo Ball. Right? The Clippers need to go after Lonzo Ball. And the big reason I say that is for a couple reasons. I feel like right now, if you guys have not already seen, I've already pretty much said, if y'all saw my frustrations towards the end of the season, I said I think we need to make some big changes. Right? We need to make changes. I echoed it, I screamed it out, I highlighted, I did everything that you can do. I made videos on it. The Clippers need to make some changes. One change you need to make is get off of Ty Lue. Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue are two people, in my personal opinion, have been holding back the franchise. Yes, I know people may say that's harsh, but it is what it is. When you talk about the last 3 seasons for the Clippers, it's been underperforming, disappointments, and just basically just being exited out the first round year after year. You had in 2023, they get edged out in the first round by the Phoenix Suns. Not even edged out, they get beat in 5 games by the Phoenix Suns. Now, of course, you had Paul George at the time who was with the Clippers with us. He did not play for the entire series. And then, you had Kawhi Leonard who left. Who got hurt, in the series with that torn meniscus. So he played outside of 2 games. He missed the entire series. So the Suns win in 5 games. And the guy that really kind of, carried the load was Russell Westbrook, right, at the time. So Russell Westbrook was carrying the team. I think he averaged 23 points that series. Showed himself to be very, very prevalent. All the games that they played against the Suns were pretty close, within 10 points from games, like I think 3 to 5. So all they needed was at least one of the guys between Kawhi and PG to possibly win that series. But they didn't get a chance to get it done. So that's one series. In 2024, the Clippers lose in 6 games to the Dallas Mavericks. Paul George and James Harden are healthy, right? No Kawhi Leonard outside of 2 games where he was dealing with injuries. Y'all come in hit that like button. They don't have a power forward, a serviceable power forward after they let go of Marcus Morris, right? Nicholas Batum was gone, right? They let go of Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, KJ Martin, and Robert Covington. All 4 of their point power forwards they let go off of that trade, who I'm going to talk about in a minute, that really I think crippled the Clippers more than anything that people don't want to talk about. And that was the trade for James Harden, right? You have to be subjugated to PJ Tucker as our power forward in game 6, right? And then the Mavericks took advantage with that size inside the paint with Daniel Gafford, with Derek Lively. You know what I'm saying? With who else am I thinking of? Basically, they had all the size pretty much you could think of, right? So that was an issue that stems from Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue, their roster construction, right? Letting go all your power forwards for a high dynamic point guard who is a liability on defense against guys who are quicker than him and are bigger than him. So you let that happen. You lose in 6 games, right? That was a disappointment. Then you go into this year, 2025, the Clippers rolling towards the end of the season. They go 12-3, right? They were picked to win the series, even though they were the 5th seed to the Denver Nuggets 4th. They were picked to win the series. And people thought the Nuggets were pretty much done because they lost Mike Malone. They lost their head coach. They weren't, going to be able to withstand like the loss of that was going to set them back. But instead, the Nuggets rallied together. They won the last 3 games of the regular season, and then they went on to beat the Clippers in 7 games in embarrassing fashion. We saw, Russell Westbrook show himself to be very, very prominent. How ironic is that? The guy that you chose to place, no disrespect, but a rotational journeyman in Chris Dunn, that he was somewhat more valuable. I heard it all. Chris Dunn fits the team better. Chris Dunn doesn't turn the ball over. Chris Dunn doesn't miss layups. Chris Dunn doesn't do this, doesn't do that. So we got a better player that fits the Clippers. That was the talk when the trade was made. Now, of course, I was against that notion, but that was what the narrative was, right? So that was a disappointment. So you got 3 seasons where you got first round exits with guys healthy. This was a telling year. Everybody was healthy. Clean injury report, right? And you still didn't get out of the first round. So when I see that, I start looking back, okay, well, was it all injuries or was it something else deeper rooted issue of why the Clippers are where they're at right now? We're going to get into all that. Let's get these likes up, y'all. Let's get these likes up. Everybody coming in here, make sure y'all smash that like button. Adam said Ty Lue's a complete idiot. He made it look like Bones Highland's a bench warmer. Now nobody plays him. LOL. See, I'm just going in for this is the thing. We can bring whoever we want to bring in. And shout out to Old Man for telling me this yesterday. Me and him shared a lot of the same mindset because I've echoed this as well. We can bring anybody, any player. We can replace any player with another player. It does not matter if the coaching scheming and the roster is not constructed correctly around the best player. I'm going to say that again. It doesn't matter who you bring in. If the coach doesn't implement the right schemes to fit the best player and the GM doesn't as well know how to construct a correct roster, it's not going to matter what you do. All these years, we've been letting go of guys that, in my personal opinion, ain't fit around Kawhi Leonard. I think the best 2 seasons, I think the Clippers have the best rosters built around Kawhi Leonard and Paul George at the time was 2020 and 2021. But that was 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Within the last couple of seasons, you've seen their power forwards be let go. You've seen their wing depth be let go. They valued more guard play instead of the two-way wing players. All this revolves around these two. This starts from the top. So I'm saying all this to say this. Lawrence Frank and Tyronn Lue have had their time to get this ship turned around. And based off of the press conference or the exit interview that Lawrence Frank held, he seems like he's in a wait and see moment. My thing is, you don't have time for that. The best thing of all this is that Kawhi Leonard has proven that he can go through a series. He can go through a playoff run, that he's healthy, that he's ready to go. So now he's in full championship mode where he's ready to compete. So how does that revolve around Lonzo Ball? Well, I've said already, our current point guard that we have right now, which is James Harden, I'm actually off of him. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can because at the end of the day, these are basketball players. These are people that, I have a high respect for as far as, playing. So I have to, be, aware of that. But I've made it very clear my feelings on the podcast as well as me also, my news site. If you guys have not already checked out the news site that I write for, the Sporting Tribune, I made my feelings very, very clear of how I feel about the Clippers keeping James Harden around. If you guys do not follow the Sporting Tribune, it's a pretty big news site out here in California and throughout the West Coast, as a matter of fact. So I write for that news column. You guys can see my article, what I say about James Harden. Y'all have heard it, echoed my sentiments on the pod. I put it even in more discreet content over there. So I've made it clear that James Harden is just not the point guard for the Clippers to win a championship. If you look at everything in a nutshell, James Harden really is all he's really been is a great regular season player for the last couple since he's been here. Last year in the playoffs against the Mavericks, people say he had such a good series. He was the best player. But when you look at the context of how everything went, he did not have a great series. His series was basically average with him not being the guy focused in on defense or focused on the defensive side of the ball. The just like this year, the Nuggets surrounding Kawhi Leonard is the same thing that the Mavericks did with Paul George. They focused on those two guys as the main options. So last year, James Harden averaging 21 points a game as a second option where the team wasn't really scheming on him. Not good enough. Just like this year, him averaging 18 points a game in an offense where he wasn't really schemed against wasn't good enough. When you have Christian Braun being the primary defender, followed by Russell Westbrook, both of those guys in the backcourt, that's not good enough. James Harden's 35, going on 36 years old, and what he has been is a great regular season player, but if the Clippers really are competitive and really trying to win, they have got to focus on the postseason. The Clippers ain't had trouble not making the playoffs even before James Harden got to the team. They never missed the playoffs outside of that 1 year where they were in the play-in and Kawhi missed the whole year, and then Paul George caught COVID against that team against the Pelicans, but they had a winning record. So the regular season ain't never been an issue for the Clippers to at least make the playoffs or the play-in or whatever. So that can't be the standard from here on out. Oh, if we have a good season, as long as we have a good season, we should be where we need. Like, we passed that. Real championship caliber teams don't look at the regular season and say, okay, this is where everything ends. That's where everything starts, but it really continues in the playoffs. That's when you have to really show yourself to be what it is. Salute, Andre. What's good? He said Kawhi Leonard is scheduled for a light surgery routine this offseason. He said this time next season, we'll be asking for Kawhi Leonard to be traded. Can you send me that link where you say that he's supposed to have an off-season routine, light surgery? Because I didn't hear nothing about that. Jonathan Johnson said he's injured a lot. So we're going to talk about that now. But basically, I think we can all come to agreement. The Clippers need to make moves. And I'm going to say this, the point guard move needs to be reevaluated. Now, if you guys ain't been watching the NBA playoffs, y'all see the person in the East that's representing going to the finals is Tyrese Halliburton. The reason why I bring up Tyrese Halliburton is because he is changing the scape back to traditional point guards. You know, for a long time, it's been about scoring point guards, and you look at a point guard who's playing that, but also is giving you 25, 30 points a game. You know, guys like, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, De'Aaron Fox. Who else am I looking at as a star point guard? But he was their scorer. Trying to think. LaMelo Ball. Basically anybody you can really think of. SGA. All these dudes who lead their team in scoring but play point guard. Tyrese Halliburton's a little bit different. Tyrese Halliburton's like a Rajon Rondo, like a Magic Johnson, like a person who's an orchestrator of the offense. He controls the pace. He doesn't need to get up a bunch of shots to make his impact. He makes his impact by making others better. He makes his impact by taking care of the ball, having a good assist turnover ratio. Right? He makes his teammates better by empowering them, by getting everybody touch the rock, pushing the pace, and then coming with him hitting shots throughout the game. And also a bonus for him, he's a clutch player. So he don't need to score. He can go through 3 quarters and have like 8 points and then come into the fourth and give you like somewhere between 10 and 15 and finish with like 23, 25 points. A point guard's job is to know the moment and understand and have a good feel of the game. You're the orchestrator of the team. You're the leader of the team. You're the extension of the coach. Your job is to keep everything in order. In times of chaos, keep everything calm. Everything. So why is that? Why do I bring that up? Why do I bring that up? Because the guy that I want resembles all those traits, and that's Lonzo Ball. Now, I heard a comment. I seen a comment saying from Jonathan Johnson said he's injured a lot too. Well, we're going to get into that in a minute because that is something that that's going to be the concern about his injury history, but also that plays in the Clippers' favor. You see, when you look through the league and you look through the NBA, much of these guys don't even play like the star players. They're not playing more than like 60 or 65. It's very common for the star players to play like 60 to 65 games and say they complete a full season because of the contracts being guaranteed, because of the mindset of a lot of these players now where they play so many games, got so many miles on their body. They're looking to take time off, not just old guys, but young guys. It's comfortability. It's just like anybody's job. If you are paid salary, you're going to get your money no matter what. If you show up to work, you're going to take some time off. You're going to be like, I don't feel like going in today. I feel a little tired. I may went out last night, or I just don't want to go in. I just want to take a time off to myself. Life happens. Right? So it's not just, players are so hurt, they don't want to play. Lou Williams talked about this as well. They'll have the athletic the doctor or somebody in the athletic department at the beginning of the season or during the season and ask certain players would they want to play this game or they want to sit out. So this stuff is pre-planned. When you look at a team or a player has like 60 games, 65 games, you got a good number of those games that can probably be them sitting out on purpose. So I say that to say, like, when you say injured a lot, understand that you got to look at the situation the person's in. We do know that Lonzo Ball missed 2 seasons with that knee injury. I think he had a meniscus injury, if I'm not mistaken. It caused him to miss 2 years. And in those 2 years, he got a chance to sit back and actually, watch people and watch the team play. Now, Lonzo, things about him that probably play in our favor is that the Clippers are looking right now to save money and get players. The Clippers don't have no picks until 2030. They don't really have much as far as, movability, flexibility, if I might be frank. They don't really have much to really, really move around with. So you got to actually go with the options that can suit you. If you look at Lonzo Ball, he's a player, like Jonathan said, who thinks he's real injured. Well, let's look at what happened this past year because this is his first season back since having that injury. So let me go ahead and find Lonzo Ball's stats real quick from this year. Take this off real quick so y'all can see. So in 35 games this year, Lonzo Ball averaged 7.6 points, 3.4 rebounds, 3.3 assists. So the thing about it is that Lonzo Ball, you got to look at the type of team he's playing with. You got to look at where he's at in his career. You got to look at everything in a nutshell. He's 27 years old. He'll be 28, I believe, in November, if I'm not mistaken. He'll be 28 in November. He's 6'6". He's a traditional point guard, just like Tyrese Halliburton. He has the injury history, like the one said, but we're going to put that into context. This has to be a deal. We have to find a way to get better in the offseason. If we come back with the same team, it's going to be the same results or even a little bit worse because teams are going to be more healthier and get more chemistry around their belts. San Antonio is going to have Victor Wembanyama back. The Warriors are going to have Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler for a full training camp. You're going to have, OKC's going to come back, still be what they are. You got Houston's going to be a year better. We'll see what happens with teams like Minnesota and the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? There's not the Clippers don't have the luxury of just sitting back and waiting. So I'm trying to look at ways for the Clippers to get better. And based off of what the Clippers have on the table, to get like a big name player, like I've heard of Giannis Antetokounmpo or Kevin Durant, you're looking at how they're going to get those type of players that's making somewhere up between $45 to $50 million a year. They have the name, but what are you going to be giving up? Because the other team's going to be asking, okay, what are you willing to give up for these players? For a player like Giannis Antetokounmpo, I find it very difficult for them to give off, not ask for Kawhi Leonard back. Forget a player like Kevin Durant. It makes it very hard for me to think a team like Phoenix, who seems to go after big name stars as well, won't ask for a guy like Kawhi Leonard back. Well, if you let go of Kawhi Leonard, you pretty much that's pretty much the end of everything, because that's your star player. So you have to find a way to keep Kawhi Leonard here and build around him. See, that's what the problem with the Clippers last year. They tried to build around James Harden, and it bit them in the backside. You don't build around James Harden, who's a one-way point guard at his age, at 36, high usage, inefficient, and a really good regular season player, but shrinks in the playoffs. You don't build around that. They thought that, these pieces were going to be around Kawhi. I didn't see none of that. I didn't see Derrick Jones fitting with Kawhi Leonard. I don't see a guy like Bogdan Bogdanovic fitting around Kawhi Leonard. I don't see a guy like James Harden fitting with Kawhi Leonard. I don't see a guy like, I'm starting to think Norman Powell don't fit with Kawhi Leonard, because he's a guy who can score, but I don't really see how they really complement each other's games. I think guys like Nicholas Batum, Ivica Zubac, Chris Dunn, all guys that play defense, they fit around Kawhi. But we need more pieces. But we need guys who are proven in the postseason. We need guys that can run an offense. We need a guy that can actually make guys better. And that's what Lonzo Ball tends to do. Now, the numbers that he has right here are numbers for him playing 35 games and 22 minutes per game. Him coming back this first year after that knee injury, these numbers you got to look at are kind of like in a nutshell, because he's not playing his full amount of minutes, and he's coming back from being hurt for 2 years. So you can't really judge him just off of these raw numbers, but I'm putting them up on the screen just so y'all can see. But as I watched Lonzo this season, especially when they played us a couple of times, the game in Chicago, he had 15 points in 28 minutes. As time got on, he got more and more comfortable. He got more and more healthier. He got more and more able to play. So I think now this going to the next year, he gets a full training camp and all that good stuff, he could be able to lead a team. He'll be able to, get back into as a starter and put a point guard. Now, Chicago, their situation, they already got Josh Giddey and Kobe White over there, who they're looking to build around. So you don't really have room for Lonzo Ball to come in there and make an impact. He's not a backup point guard. Lonzo Ball's a starting point guard. So if you got Kobe White and Josh Giddey there playing a bulk of minutes, who are younger, a little bit younger than Lonzo, there's really no reason to keep them around. If you're Chicago, if y'all come here and smash that like button. Kawhi Leonard averaged 20 points, 5 and 4. Well, regular season, but the playoffs he averaged 25, 7 and 4. Kawhi raises his game in the playoffs. That's the difference. See, I'd rather have a guy who raises his game in the playoffs and coasts through the season than a guy who shows out in the season and declines in the playoffs. Right? So that's why I'll say. But when you look at Lonzo Ball and his contract situation, because somebody just mentioned his contract, Let's look at what he's doing right now in Chicago as far as what his contract situation is, because this is something that's also important. You know, how the Clippers going to get Lonzo Ball, how the Clippers going to be able to bring him in. Well, I just already shared that have the Bulls don't really have a reason to keep him around because they already have their future backcourt. Lonzo, he's at an age at 27 years old where he's supposed to be on a winning championship team. Now, a little bit of history. Lonzo actually, before he got hurt, had the Bulls as the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, which we're going to talk about in a minute, what his value was before he got hurt. But he had the Bulls back in 2022 in the number one team in the East when they had DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine right there. Something people also that goes under their over people's heads. Lonzo Ball is a winner. Y'all know Lonzo Ball is from LA as well. He's from outside. Actually, he's from the outskirts of LA, but he's from LA County, from Chino Hills. He's been a winner ever since high school. High school state championship senior year, I think they went undefeated 39-0. College, number 2 team in the nation at UCLA. Every teammate he done had, he elevates their games. Every teammate he done had, people love to play with him. He elevates, he has gotten better with his jump shot. He works hard in the offseason. He works hard during the in-season. Every single coach has been around him actually loves him. And that's what a lot of the Clippers need, some type of guy that actually brings a type of aura to a team. Because we have a lot of soap opera on the Clippers, if you guys do not already see that. But the intangibles, as well as his size, his age, his style of play, they all fit. And him being an LA kid, it would be also another great story. Now, something else before I continue. I do remember when I was interviewing Lonzo when he came to the Clippers, when he came to play us out here in LA, and he said he wasn't all that eager to get back home and be, on a hometown kid, but also at the same token, he wasn't going to write it off. He just feel like, okay, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm cool with it. He's been more campaigning for LaMelo to come to the Clippers, but in my personal opinion, I don't think LaMelo is the answer because he's not a winner. Just like how I mentioned, Lonzo has won at every single level, been has led his team every single level. LaMelo has been the complete opposite. When Lonzo left Chino Hills in high school, because LaMelo is 2 years younger than Lonzo, or 2 grades younger than, or is it 2 or 3 grades younger than Lonzo? When LaMelo got his own team and Lonzo left, Chino Hills didn't even make the playoffs. Now, I know it's high school, but I'm just looking, as they got older and older and older, I started seeing more that LaMelo Ball is more of an entertainer, but Lonzo Ball is more of a winner. Very similar to Kawhi and James Harden. James Harden can entertain you, put all the highlights, all that stuff, but he ain't won. Vice versa, Kawhi Leonard, he doesn't have all those fancy highlights, but he gets the job done. That's what Kawhi and Lonzo have in common. Y'all follow me? There's certain players who value winning, and there's certain players that value entertainment. Nothing wrong with that. But the Clippers need to start bringing guys that have a winning mentality. Guys that's going to play for one another. Guys that's going to take the extra step to make their teams better. That's what the Clippers need to start valuing. Yes, you have a new arena. We get it. But who wants to come to an arena when a team is constantly losing in the first round, disappointed, and not being competitive? Nobody wants to keep seeing that. Eventually, they're going to be like, okay, what else you got? But let's go into Lonzo's salary real quick. So right here, we see $21 million from last year. He has an extra year for another $10 million this year coming up, 25, 2026. He's on contract still. And then the year after that, he has a team option in 26, 2027, which all that means is similar to a player option. The team has the option of either extending that year, he can play that year, or the Bulls can be like, we don't want to pay you. You can go into free agency. So next year will be the year where Lonzo. This is what ties into the Clippers. Next season will be the year that he actually shows who he really is, because they gave him a shot this year to kind of get back into fold. He played 35 games. He didn't play that many minutes. So they're giving him a pass. This upcoming year is him to actually play for a team. But I don't see how that's going to work when you got two guys already like Josh Giddey and Kobe White already in that position. It's not enough burn for Lonzo. So what happens now? Now you start hearing rumors of him possibly being a candidate to go to Dallas, since Kyrie Irving is coming back from injury. He's going to be out for some time. So they're going to bring in a point guard to fill in his spot. So what I've been hearing Drew Holiday, Lonzo Ball, and Chris Paul. Now Dallas has the right mindset. They're looking at it like, hey, Lonzo, 6'7", scores in transition, a leader, a true point guard, can play defense, all that. Let's snag him. He's a better pickup than, at this age, a Chris Paul who's older, and a Drew Holiday who ain't a star player that moves the needle. He's a complimentary player. But also, you got a guy who's coming off an injury. His value ain't super high. He ain't played like a lot of basketball, but they're looking at the glass half full, not half empty. Hit that like button as y'all come in here. Just like Kawhi Leonard, they look at the glass half full, not half empty. Yes, we know this guy's an injury history, but we're going to keep paying him because of what his value is and what he can do on the court when he's there. I mean, the Clippers they're known to make risk all the time. So I must say, I gotta say, the league is starting to, now that Tyrese Halliburton is doing what he's doing, the true point guard is starting to come back on the realm. The true point guard is starting to come back on the scene. That's just the bottom line. The true point guard is starting to come back on the scene. After this finals, if the Pacers end up winning the finals, you guys are going to see the resurgence of a true point guard be back on the scene. All of a sudden, the traditional point guards are going to be back, like the playmakers, the guys that, make everybody better. You're going to start seeing people say, oh, he's making everybody better. And, guys that, are exciting to watch. That Magic Johnson tree. That's what you're about to see. Tyrese Halliburton and Lonzo Ball have a lot of the same traits, except just one guy has been more healthier. But as far as ability, I mean, it's pretty much the same. They're pretty much similar. They both have winning tangibles. They're both competitive. They both are, excellent playmakers. They take care of the ball. Lonzo's a better defender than Tyrese Halliburton, but Tyrese Halliburton's a better scorer. But Lonzo can score in transition as well. I'm telling you, I had Lonzo when he first came out of UCLA. I said this guy was going to be better than Ben Simmons. Ironic, Ben Simmons is on our team, but y'all remember Ben Simmons was, talked about as the guy coming out of coming into the league. Now, for the first few years, yes, he held his weight, 3-time All-Star, but as far as the longevity and as far as everything that been taking place, as far as his ability to affect teams, I would say Lonzo Ball has a better feel of the game, if you will. There's a reason why Magic Johnson wanted to draft him over De'Aaron Fox. And that's another player that is a scoring point guard. Damian Lillard, scoring point guard. All these scoring point guards, you know what I'm saying, getting up 25, 30 shots, that's going to be dead if what I think is going to happen in the finals. I want to also share something else as well before I let y'all in. Show y'all something. So, let me take this off the screen. So, like I said earlier, Lonzo, when he was with the Bulls, had them as the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Y'all remember that? The 21-22 season. They had the Bulls had the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. DeMar DeRozan was there. Zach LaVine was there. And they were rolling. DeMar DeRozan had an interview where he spoke about it. He spoke about Lonzo Ball's value to the team. So let me go ahead and let y'all see. Actually, no, I'm going to go ahead and read some of this right here so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Where's it at? It says the DeMar DeRozan era of the Chicago Bulls met with some high expectations in the 21-22 season. After 5 consecutive losing seasons, the team acquired both Lonzo Ball and DeRozan, along with Alex Caruso. I remember Alex Caruso was on that team as well, to bolster their roster around Zach LaVine. DeRozan was key in their turnaround that season, as he had back-to-back buzzer beater game winners and gave them excellent scoring punch next to their franchise cornerstone LaVine. Let's continue. Chicago exploded out the gates, boasting a 27-13 record in their first 40 games that season, which was mainly due to Caruso, Ball, DeRozan, and LaVine's contribution. So stop right there. So you not only had a scoring duo of DeRozan and Zach LaVine, who was very similar to a Kawhi and Paul George duo, like a Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown duo. 2 wings that are your best scorers that you're building around. That's why I was trying to make it very clear. This is a wing league. It's a wing slash point guard league. But for the most part, when you got wings, they're the most valuable players in the league. Now, if you got wings that can play both ends, that's even icing on the cake. But my point is that you build around players like that. You don't take one of those players out and replace them with a one-way point guard and call that a winning formula. But you had that, and then you had Lonzo Ball, a guy that can give them the basketball in their spots, a player that they want to play with, a player that can push the pace, a player that can get more possessions out of their team. That's the type of point guard Lonzo Ball is. Everybody eats. Even if he doesn't get a chance to eat, everybody else eats first. That's what a real point guard does. And then you follow that up with Alex Caruso, who y'all see in the finals right now. The Bulls had everything for them to get to the finals, especially in the East. If the Indiana Pacers can get to the finals right now, nobody outside of Pascal Siakam has won a championship on that team. If they can get to the finals right now, that Chicago Bulls team had everything to get to the finals. He said, although Ball's first season with the Bulls was impacted by injuries, which caused him to play only 35 games and missed the next 2 full seasons due to cartilage transplant, he had a positive impact when he was on the floor. Let's continue. DeRozan appeared on the Run Your Race podcast with former NBA player Theo Pinson to discuss Ball's impact on the Bulls when he was healthy. Now, watch this. When you talk about a piece that's missing for something, Lonzo was that big piece of the puzzle that put everything together for all of us. He made everything so easy. DeRozan said about playing with Ball. Now, that's some sentiments that's been echoed by also Lonzo's pops, LeVar Ball. Ever since Lonzo's been a kid playing recreational ball, when he was like around 7, 8 years old, he was always playing the same way, the point guard position. Everybody loves playing with him. You see that at every level he's been at, in high school, college, in the league. Everybody loves playing with him, even with the Pelicans. If I'm not mistaken, they made the playoffs that season. I think that was Zion's second year. They made the playoffs and lost to Miami. So, oh no, not Miami. They didn't play Miami. I'm tripping. I'm trying to remember. But he elevates everybody else's game. That's what DeMar DeRozan is trying to echo. He makes everything else easier for everybody else. That's your job as a point guard. He said DeRozan was a contender for the most valuable player that season, averaging 27.9 points per game of an incredible 50.4 shooting percentage. So DeMar DeRozan had his best year that season with the Bulls. And the reason why is because you have a point guard that understands where to get him the ball. He's a good defender. He's efficient. He takes care of the rock. So you don't have to really baby him. You don't have to really worry about him. He's actually looking to tell you, okay, how can I make your job easier? Then the Bulls have a winning record, number 1 seed in the East, and then you got your best player averaging 27 points per game, 50% shooting. When has DeMar DeRozan ever done that? I don't know if he's even had that good of efficiency ever in his career. He said LeVar Ball said that Alonzo was also damaged goods. That was all the way back when he was at the Lakers when all that stuff was going on. And he was just talking shit. But anyway, my point is, I'm gonna leave it at this. Players like this, they can be great additions if put in the right spot. Lonzo not costing a lot of money can actually work in the Clippers' favor because all that is just because of him. Are they worried about him being healthy? So that means he's on the cheap. That means he's on the cheap right now. His value ain't super high. That works for the Clippers because if you had a guy whose value was high, see that's what the Mavericks are seeing. Then you couldn't get him. The Clippers can't get a Giannis Antetokounmpo. They can't get a high level free agent because they ain't got the money. They ain't got the assets to do it. So you got to look at a little bit deep. You got to look at other places to get what you want. And him being 27 years old, he's young. He's just now just coming into his prime. Just now. He said, I've said that for years. That Lonzo paired with Kawhi would bring a championship, both high basketball IQs and all major. Yeah. And they both are hard workers and they're not no nonsense guys. They have similar personalities. But the difference is that Lonzo, he does talk. Kawhi will talk. They're all business. They're not about all that glitz and glamour and trying to, be fancy and entertain. They're lunch pail guys. They're like get the job done guy. That's what they are. They're easy to work with. So it's just a thought. Like I said, man, I think I can say is that I don't think Harden's the answer. I think that it's now time to get out for James Harden. Um, is look at me more reinforcement. Not just James Harden, but they need to get off of other players. Like it's all gonna come down to what the Clippers want to do. Do they want to win a championship? Do they want to be competitive, or they just want to be mediocre? If they want to be mediocre, just keep everything you got. Don't worry about changing nothing else out the ordinary. Don't worry about it. Keep Tyronn Lue there. Let him keep coaching the way he wants to coach, and y'all, be inconsistent. And one night, it looks like he's going to coach, and the next night he's going to look like he's coaching the other team. Keep Lawrence Frank there. Building these rosters with, what I'm saying, no power forward, and what I'm saying, guys who him and Ty Lue. See, that's something else too. I'm starting to think that Ty Lue and Lawrence Frank want different players. I think Ty Lue and Lawrence Frank value different guys. I think Ty Lue values guys who are guard oriented, who are offensively guys like James Harden and Kevin Porter Jr. and at the time before Reggie Jackson's players like that who are undersized guards are who he values. Maybe Bogdanovich, maybe him. I'm not so sure. But players like Biska Zubac, players like what I'm saying, at the time of Robert Covington, what I'm saying, who he refused to play for whatever reason they could not figure out why they would not play this guy. I don't know why they wouldn't play this guy for I don't know how long. Terrence Mann, two-way wings, Kawhi Leonard, even the Kawhi Leonard James Harden thing. I think Ty Lue values James Harden more than Kawhi Leonard. If y'all want to be completely honest, I think Ty Lue values James Harden over Kawhi Leonard. And if that's what it is, that's a problem. The system they play in since James Harden has been here has been more suitable for James Harden. Corey said Jaylen Brown on the block. Nah, see, that's the thing. I mean, he's going to cost too much money. They got to start dumping contracts. That would mean you have to dump Harden, Powell, and even Zubac, which that defeats the purpose because Zubac, to me, fits with Kawhi Leonard. But the problem is with that is Nicholas Batum and Chris Dunn, they fit as far as they're willing to play defense, and they have, you got one guy, and Batum's a very high IQ player who plays defense. You got another guy, Chris Dunn, who's a very aggressive defender. To me, they're both bench players. Nicholas Batum's a bench player at this point of his career. Chris Dunn's a bench player. So you need some starter caliber players to fit with Kawhi Leonard. Lonzo Ball would be the first act of it. And also, you could imagine, y'all think James Harden made Daviska Zubac better, which I think is a stretch because I think Zubac, as much as people want to say that James Harden makes him better, all you really see him going through is just doing the same pick and roll over and over and over. No different from Clint Capella, no different from Nick Claxton, no different from Joel Embiid. Like, he does it with every big man. That's what he does. That's what he runs with every big man. Ain't nothing different. So once you figure that out, once a team like Denver figures that out, I mean, what else are you gonna go to? Yes, he looks for the occasional outlet pass, but for the most part, James Harden loves to dribble the ball up, slow pace. This guy on the screen, he's trying to push the ball. But while he's pushing the ball, he's taking care of the ball. You don't see 4 or 5 turnovers a game for Lonzo Ball. And that's because he doesn't hold it, giving the defense the opportunity to steal it from him. Same thing with Tyrese Halliburton. You don't see Tyrese Halliburton controlling the basketball. You see that ball moving. You see that ball. That's why Indiana's a top offense in the league. That's why they're a top offense. If you hold on to the ball, you're giving the defense more opportunity to disrupt the flow. That's just period. So I'm just gonna come out and say this. They gotta find a way. They gotta find a way to they gotta find a way to get better this off season. And I'm gonna be doing a lot of content. I just dropped the link for y'all. Y'all want to come in? They're gonna do a lot of soul searching on what it's gonna do for them in this off season, because at this rate, I don't see no championship. I don't see no conference finals appearance. I don't even see a second round, because we ain't seen one in so long. We ain't seen a second round since 2021. I'm gonna tell y'all how bad this is. We ain't seen a second round since 2021. Think about that. I want y'all to really sit back and think. How is it that a team that spent all this money haven't seen a second round since 2021? We can't blame it on injuries no more. Everybody was healthy. Not only was everybody healthy, you had multiple sports pundits picking the Clippers not only to get past the first round, you had a chance of them making to the finals. MG13 said, I hope he keeps Ben Simmons. Yeah, me too. But he's another one. He fits with Kawhi, doesn't fit with James Harden. See, certain guys got to be able to run the show. That's why I say Lonzo can't be a backup. That's not him. He runs the show. He's a starting caliber point guard. So you're not gonna get another point guard of that caliber at a lower price than what you get for Lonzo Ball. Right? There's no other point guard you're gonna get in that position. He said one to keep betting the bus is nasty work. Yeah, that's funny. I don't think Lonzo's starting caliber no more. Well, we ain't got a chance to see. I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to at least see. I think we gotta give him a shot to be that, because like I said, he's not gonna get in Chicago. Chicago got too many guards. So, you got to place him on a team that's going to he understands he's going to be the starter. So I think this year will be his year that he gets a chance to distribute that. I mean, what he played 35 games, 22 minutes. Like, yeah, he ain't finna start there. So you got to place him on a team that's going to give him that shot. I would say, if Dallas is willing to put him, like, try to bring him in, I think the Clippers need to look at him. Yeah, the risk definitely worth it for sure, Mad Max. I would definitely take that risk. The Clippers been taking risks for years anyway. Ray said, "Why do you think Mr. Jerry West quit working for the Clippers?" He said that the Clippers were snake bitten, having both your superstar players injured 2 years straight playoff time. I don't think he even really worked as far as like from what I know, from the jump, he kind of let Lawrence Frank run the show. He just kind of mentored him. I think after they got that deal done, he kind of pretty much left it to Lawrence Frank at the time, Michael Winger, to kind of take over that. But I think Jerry West kind of stayed out the way. Excuse me, y'all. I've been super tired. About to get into Summer League. Summer League coming up in about a little over a month. That's gonna be exciting. Let's see. Yeah, I know some of y'all like LaMelo Ball, but I don't think he's the answer. I think LaMelo's very similar to Harden. Flashy, entertainer, gets the crowd up, ooh and eyeing, but at the same token, inefficient. Um, I won't say he's not I wouldn't say he's not coachable. I think he kind of matured up a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit different environment if he goes to a winning team. But I don't see a I don't see a guy that, moves the needle. He was a consultant, yep. He was Jerry West's consultant. Or he was Lawrence Frank's consultant. And before that, Doc Rivers consultant. So yeah. He didn't really make too many big boy decisions. He just kind of like maneuvered them. He kind of maneuvered them to see what they were. What's good, Bruce?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm great. Been back out it, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I've been cutting grass, listening to you, and I see nobody coming in, so I said, okay, let me come in.
Appreciate it. How you doing? What you got?
Uh, Lonzo Ball as a Clipper. Hmm. I don't know if Lonzo Ball will fit with the team. Uh, I think Clippers need more shooters. Lonzo Ball can shoot the three, but he's tricky, and I think he's a playmaker. He's can defend, but because of the shooting, I don't think he can fit the team. Um, I think he would do great on a team who has shooters, like Warriors. I think he would do great there. But on the Clippers, I don't know. I mean, are the Clippers keeping some of the players they have on the team? I mean, you have Dunn. I mean, you have Lonzo and Dunn playing together. I don't know. It's not gonna work. What's the other guy who plays Dunn sometimes? He was on the Mavericks last year. Forgot his name.
Jones.
Yeah. You think Lonzo playing with him? I don't think it's gonna work. So Lonzo can be on the Clippers, but if Bogdanovich can shoot the ball like he's supposed to shoot the ball, yeah. But I don't know. I mean, if Lonzo is on the team, I don't think Harden should be on the team, in my opinion, because Lonzo to play make to do the playmaking job, he cannot play with Harden. I don't think Lonzo is a spot up shooter. And
Right.
yeah, I think Lonzo will do great with Kawhi because he's not gonna look for a shot first. I think James Harden looks for a shot first. Even though James Harden did well with Zubac, I think Lonzo will do better with Zubac. But with the team right now, I don't think Lonzo will fit this team.
Yeah, I think I'm getting off of Harden. I'm done with Harden already. I don't want Harden back. So yeah, I will replace Lonzo with Harden with Lonzo, and I would bring in. We probably need another shooter. I would keep Bogey for that reason, just for another shooter, and I would get off of Jones. I don't think we need Derrick Jones no more.
Mm,
I think we need another spot up 3-point shooter, and I think they'll be good.
yeah.
I think he's
I
a better
mean,
point
what's
guard.
what's the big guy from Chicago?
Vucevic,
But yeah, I mean, if you trade Lonzo and him for Harden, I don't know, will that work?
yeah, let him
I
play the
mean,
four.
yeah, I mean, if you have Musovic and Zubac playing together, that could work a little bit.
Yeah, I think the Clippers need a power forward. They need a point guard. And they need a second option. I think they need a second option. I wanted to ask you, do you feel like Kaminga has star quality?
Uh, some of the Warriors fans are delusional. They want Kuminga to be superstar. They already see him as a superstar, but I think Kuminga is still raw, and he's not gonna develop with teams who have already superstar. I don't think Kuminga is still trying to be Kobe YouTube, Kobe highlight YouTube, the fadeaway, weird fadeaway. I mean, when he gets on the fast break, he do well, but the half court, I don't know. He still has to work on rebounding. That's my issue with him. Rebounding. Does he have potential for a star? Yeah. I mean, yes. Yes. But I think he needs to play a lot of minutes. And Steve Kerr, some coaches, they like veterans. You know, Steve Kerr, I think he likes veterans. He's like, I don't think Tyler is gonna be the coach for him. I think he's gonna get DMPs with Tyler because he doesn't rebound the ball. He ball watch all the time. Defense, he falls for pump fakes. Um, I mean, he has potential, but when you play with Steph Curry, I mean, you're not gonna get the ball. He needs to play. He needs to be on a team like a rebuilding team. Like if you
Mm,
win, I mean, if he knows what he's supposed to do, he can play on he can play on veteran team. But I I think it's a player that needs you need some players you need college like at least 1 year of college. I think he would have needed 1 year of college because he's starting to understand some stuff. Uh, so I mean, if the Clippers are win now team, I don't know Kaminga. I don't know if Kaminga is it. If you're trying to build for the future, yeah, you can have Kaminga.
so you don't feel like he can be like an all-star caliber player?
I mean, yes, one day
Hmm.
you have to be patient with Kaminga. He's only 22 years old, I think. You have to
Yeah.
be patient.
Do you think? Would you value guys who are young though, like young guys for the Clippers because they're so old, or you really want to know like a established star?
Uh, for the Clippers, I think you need a win now player, like players who have IQs. Some of the Clippers players do not have IQs, and James Harden, for a lot of people who said he has IQs, he doesn't have IQs to me.
Yeah, me neither.
Players who have IQs, you see it in the playoff. That's players. They're not gonna make the stupid shots, the stupid fouls, the stupid play. James Harden, he's great in the regular season. I mean, you don't need IQs to be great in the regular season. You need IQs in the playoff. And James Harden is not a IQ player. IQ player. He's not a winner. He's the winner in life, but I don't think he's gonna win. If he's the if he still thinks he's the number one player, you're not gonna win. He needs to.
Mm.
He has a big ego. He still think he's the same Harden Houston. Dribble, 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 dribble. Oh my God, two players on me. Let me pass the ball. Oh, assists. He has 13 assists. Like some people come here and say. So, yeah, I will. I want. I think the Clippers. Yeah, it has to be a win now team. The I don't think you're gonna win with that roster, especially if that's a roster for Harden. Is that a roster for Kawhi or Harden?
Which one? The one that we have right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for Harden. That's for Harden.
So
That's that's why I said earlier, like that. This roster was made for Harden. This wasn't made for Kawhi. When was the last roster that was made for Kawhi?
when he got hurt, when Joe Ingles uh viciously bumped him,
Yep,
when that player that I didn't want to play, what's his name? That's the twin player. I was a roster for Kawhi. Marcus Morris.
Marcus
Yeah.
Morris. Yep, yeah,
That's not a roster for Kawhi. So Clippers management has a lot in their hand. Uh, Lonzo will be part of the roster for Kawhi. Gives you defense, can give you key shots, and I don't think he play. He has no ego since he started playing in the league. I don't think I've seen Lonzo play with an ego. He's always trying to set up others to play better. Like Ben
hmm
Simmons, if it was the old Ben Simmons, I don't think that would be a roster for that. He should be part of a roster for Kawhi. Lonzo and Ben Simmons probably the same, but Lonzo is better offensively.
yep,
So
yeah. I agree. They're both the same. They're both the same. It's just I think Ben Simmons is a he was averaging like 15, 16 points a game when he was with Philadelphia.
yeah,
So
I don't know. There's something mental, whatever. But I still Ben Simmons is practically the same player to me. He's just
yes,
there's something whatever going on, or he's not getting enough minutes to do what he can do. But I don't think it's different to me.
yeah, it's the same. He's 6'10". He's still the same size. He's still the same everything. So
The Clippers needs to change the team. It's either rebuilding or do the same thing over and over again. Be insane. The definition of insanity. Thinking that James Harden is gonna lead you to a championship. The West is getting better. Imagine Giannis going to San Antonio. They have the pieces.
mm,
I mean, San Antonio is gonna be healthy next season. So you know, and I don't see this Clipper team is not gonna win. I'm sorry. James Harden is not gonna win you a championship. Clippers fan or James Harden fans.
yeah. Somebody said the Chris Paul Clippers were a lot better than the Kawhi Leonard Clippers.
Ooh, which Kawhi Clippers? There was a Kawhi Clipper was better than Chris Paul Clipper. The Kawhi Clipper that shook in the bubble is better than Chris Paul. Clippers, all of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
the Kawhi Clippers that went to the conference finals. That's better than Chris Paul team ever. All of them. So let's not forget history or revisionist of history. I mean, I was there. I saw all the choking. Okay, Chris Paul choked. Chris Paul Clippers choked more than the Kawhi Clippers. I mean, the Kawhi Clippers were more impactful because you had better players and Hall of Famers.
Hmm. Yeah. That I feel like Lob City Clippers, like, they never really got started. They just kept losing. They never got over the second round. Like, and they had chances, but they just, hell, they were nothing more than a regular season themselves. Regular season team.
Because they didn't have a small forward. They tried so many players to play the small forward position. Con Butler was not the answer. Matt Barnes was not the answer. Danny Granger was not the answer. So they try a bunch of players to play the small forward. They couldn't find anyone. And JJ Redick took a lot of ish,
Mm.
but he chokes in the playoff. People, he
Two.
forget. Did he forget that? JJ Redick as a Clipper, he was a starting shooting guard on both of those teams. He couldn't
Mm.
buy a shot. He can't defend. He couldn't buy a shot. Blake Griffin, terrible in the playoff. Zach Randolph punked him so many times. Uh, Ibaka punked him. Uh, what's the guy? Josh Smith punked him. Come. And
Yeah.
Jamal Crawford choke so many bricks. Lowe's, he was a sponsor for Lowe's and Home Depot. So many bricks in the playoff.
Yeah. It
I
said so
mean,
many bricks.
this team is not gonna win. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bring Lonzo Ball. What are you gonna lose?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can't bring that team back and expect to feel like they're gonna do something after what you just saw. Nah.
Man, saying that the Chris Paul Clippers were better than them. Are we serious, man? DeAndre Jordan couldn't buy a free throw. Zubac played better from DeAndre Jordan, man. Zubac has better offense. And his defense is better than DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan was better with dunking, athleticism. That's all. That's it.
Yeah, that's about it. That's all that is.
Are we gonna tell me Matt Barnes is better than Kawhi? Really? Are we telling me JJ Redick is better than Paul George?
Mm.
And Chris Paul always injured. Come on, man.
Yeah, he's another one. People talk about choking. No, that's that. He chokes and he gets hurt.
Man, we the Clippers were better than OKC, and Chris Paul turned the ball over, foul Westbrook for no reason, and then OKC went to LA and beat them. Really, we could have beat OKC that year.
You say wait, say it again.
Clippers were leading. They were about to beat the OKC in the playoffs. Chris Paul choked in that game.
Mm.
Foul Westbrook. Westbrook make both free throws, and then OKC went to Staples Center. I think it was Staples Center at that time, and then beat the Clippers. Clippers were up 3-1 on the Houston Rockets. James Harden was on the bench. You let Dwight Howard and Josh Smith beat you. Jamal Crawford that game shot a lot of bricks, man. I remember this because it was the graduation of my sister. And the night before, everybody watching me, and I'm celebrating like, yeah, we finally going to conference finals. And Jamal Crawford started shooting all those bricks. I almost broke the TV of the hotel, man. I was like, what the heck? I was ironing my suit, not my suit, my dress shirt, and I was like, I almost burned the shirt because I saw Jamal Crawford break so many shots, and Doc Rivers kept on came in the game.
And then, man,
Come on,
players
man.
for keep. What's good? How you doing? I ain't seen him in a while. Hey, so a prediction for next year, Bruce.
If it's the same roster, first round, second round exit.
They might have trouble making the playoffs.
I mean, everybody's getting better. If OKC win the championship, their confidence is gonna be crazy. Uh, Minnesota Timberwolves, when Ant starts to take basketball seriously, Timberwolves will win something. He's
You don't
not
think
playing.
you don't think he's taking it seriously right now?
No, he's not. I'm sorry. I don't want my best player to be laughing after being eliminated. After
Hmm.
every game that they lost, he's laughing. No, he's not pissed off. He's not mad. I can understand if you don't need to show me angry, you're breaking stuff, but be serious. Ant is not serious. That's one of the reasons I didn't like him at first. If
Hmm.
if he if he takes the game seriously, I think Minnesota is better than the Clippers. I mean, Denver, they need bench. I don't know if it's gonna still be the same team. So uh I don't know about the Warriors. I don't know what they're doing. Um Phoenix, I think they're done. Houston is gonna be better. Oh my god. Amen Thompson and Segun. I don't know what Houston gonna do. So if he had KD, I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
same KD.
Okay, he's giving you 27 points a game still, like
Uh,
48 to 50% efficiency. Like he won them. KD one of them players that can play till he's in his 40s. Just jump shots.
um, Pelicans, I don't know. I think they're gonna trade everybody, even Zion. Zion needs a vasectomy or something. You need to chill, bro. Damn.
Yeah, all that trouble he's in, and he needs to leave.
Uh, Lakers. I
Wait.
don't
Would
know.
you take Zion? Would you take Zion?
Is Zion gonna be focused on basketball or the women of LA?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, I would. I mean, I think it's gonna be available for cheap. I think the Pelicans are done with him.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Uh, I mean, Memphis. I don't know what they're gonna do. Um, I don't know. I don't know if Jared Jackson Jr. is he gonna be? Isn't he a free agent?
yeah.
Do you want him on the Clippers?
We need a second starter. We need a second star, Bruce.
I don't like him. He fouls so much, and he likes to shoot too many threes.
What second star would you like, or do you have one?
Second star that I would want on the Clippers.
Yeah.
I said I told you Giannis. You said he will not fit, but I don't know. I mean, can Kawhi play with KD?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if Kawhi play with KD, I mean the spacing is gonna be crazy, man. I mean, Kawhi, KD, and Lonzo. That's not a bad team to me. And Zubac.
Zubac. Yeah. I mean, KD at the 4. That would be a good Zubac, KD, and Kawhi. It's a big lineup.
Yeah.
So many things the Clippers got to do, Bruce. We're going to have to just wait and see.
Adams is a free agent. I think the Clippers should get him.
Steven Adams
Yeah.
will he be the backup?
Yep.
Man,
You don't want him?
we got to get some young guys in here.
This dude is a brick wall. I think the league is going big. Big and mid range are coming back. If OKC win, the mid range is definitely coming back. It's a
Yeah.
copycat league.
The mid-range never really left. It's just that people like talk about 3-point, but really Kawhi, KD,
Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker,
DeMar
DeMar DeRozan, them guys been doing what they doing. It's just ain't talked about enough. Now
It's
SGA is
because
bringing it
Golden
back,
State was successful with it. So everybody, Golden State in Houston.
right?
So who you got? OKC and Pacers.
Um, that's a tough one, man. I want to say the Pacers, but OKC is playing the best basketball defensively. Take defense with championship, so in that case, OKC can win it.
Pacers can win the championship if Halliburton start playing better. But I think OKC is gonna defend him like the Knicks defend him, like Miles Bridges was defending him. I think Lou Dort is gonna be on his neck, and you have Caruso. Mm, I don't know. I think Pacers need Smith, Andrew Smith or New Smith, ankle to be better. And Nemhard, whatever his name is, he needs to shoot the ball better. I think he's better. He's great defensively, but needs to play better. Siakam, I think he needs to make his free throws. I think Indiana has a good chance, but it all depends to Halliburton.
Right. You're right. Well, all right, Bruce. So I'm gonna go and shut it down since we gotta get nobody up in here trying to come in. So we're just gonna shut it down here.
All right, man. No problem.
All right, man. We'll talk later. All right, y'all. So that concludes this show. A little bit shorter. I know it's probably a little bit short notice, but thank you for coming in, man. What y'all think? Leave y'all comments in the comment section. Should the Clippers trade for Lonzo Ball? Should they tell me why they shouldn't or why they should? But give y'all opinions to me, man. Make sure y'all leave him, hit that like button as well, and be sure to share the show with other people, man. Until next time, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace out of here like swim well.